Welcome to the San Diego Business Journal's Community of Business podcast, covering all of the vibrant business activity in the greater San Diego metropolitan area. And now, here are your hosts, Kevin Leet, publisher, and Jeff Clementson, editor-in-chief.
This is Jeff Clementson from the San Diego Business Journal, and welcome to the San Diego Business Journal Community of Business podcast. Today, we're joined by special guest Michelle Gastil, president of the San Diego County Bar Association and a seasoned environmental attorney serving as senior staff counsel at the California Department of Toxic Substances Control. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. A lot of people maybe don't know exactly what the Bar Association does. They know that everyone has to pass the test to get to be a lawyer, but the association itself does important work. Why don't you share with our readers and our listeners what it is that you do?
Absolutely. The San Diego County Bar Association is around even before you pass the bar. It is around to support the whole legal community, even law students, and their mission is to connect lawyers and law students to help their success and fulfillment. And they do that in a variety of ways, from programming, education, networking, opportunities. And one important role that the bar plays that I find extremely important is being a voice for the legal community. And they do this by making public statements, by signing on to support letters, whether it's to do with, bar exam situations or laws that are being passed, or just anything that addresses the wellness of the legal community.
And in San Diego, what is the role that you play at the Bar Association? Yeah,
so I've been practicing law for 15 years, and I appreciate being called a seasoned environmental attorney because it was certainly my dream to practice environmental law when I started going to law school. 13 years into practice, I finally got a full-time job where I do. And during that course, through the course of my career, I got involved in a variety of volunteer efforts and found myself involved with bar leadership when I became a solo practitioner. And then found myself very pleasantly surprised by this legal community and how much this community comes together to support each other. And what I saw at one of the first large legal events I went to a few years into practice was pride and joy in the practice. And finding pride and joy in this type of career, I think, is extremely important. And so I thought, hey, I can support this kind of thing. What else can I do? So then I started getting more involved in other bar organizations. I was on the board for the Filipino American Lawyers of San Diego for a few years, and then got involved in the county bar a couple years after that. And as president, I get to help lead the organization. I help lead the board. I appoint members of our bar to I think it's over 27, we have over 27 sections with leadership that's elected, but I also appoint members to our committees, from programming committees, public positions committees, our governance committees. And it's been an honor and a great look into how much you can do at the table and how much you can push forward the mission of the bar when you're at the table.
Recently, and I did a little blurb of it in my column, the bar associations, I think nationwide, had a day where they re-pledged their oath to the rule of law. What does the rule of law mean, and why was it so important to have a re-pledge to it?
Absolutely. It was a wonderful event we had on Law Day, which for anyone who doesn't know is every year on May 1st. Celebrated in a number of ways throughout the country through various years. But this year I think there was a collective found importance in doing something on Law Day to revisit our oath as attorneys. And across the country, the oath is to uphold the United States Constitution and the constitutions of each of the states. And to me, Law Day was, and what I hope it was to the members who joined us, It was meant to be uplifting and celebratory, and a reminder of the oath we all took together, and a reminder that we're all in it together. It was a great way and a perfect day for the legal community to come together and remind each other, hey, we're all here for each other. We're all doing this together.
And is the rule of law important across all the areas of law?
Absolutely. And going back to what is it? What is it? What is it even? What's this mean? And I think when you think about what society in any place would be like without law, then you can understand what is the rule of law. We can go back to something as simple as relying on a street light to safely cross the street. You know the law is that the car has to stop, and you know that you expect to be safe when you cross the street. And so rule of law means that we have laws that we expect everyone to follow, and for each person to be held accountable to those laws, the same across the board. So it's an expectation of how we govern ourselves here, and any constitution-based country. And I found purpose in my legal work throughout my career by circling back to my oath and what the rule of law is. So, as I mentioned, it took a while for me to get to practicing environmental law. And so naturally, my first job out of law school was representing banks, which was, of course, my dream come true. It wasn't, but that's who was hiring. But I found joy in the work still, because I knew I was serving a purpose. I knew I was helping my client. To achieve their rights under contract or under other disputes, and we were helping, as any lawyer in any role, our clients realize their rights under the law. We're helping our clients navigate courtrooms who otherwise could not navigate the courtrooms. So you can find that purpose, hopefully, in your career in whatever job you're doing, from representing financial institutions to activist impact litigation to personal injury, what have you. You're using the laws to advance the interest of your client. And in a way, no matter what lawyer job you have, you're part of the rule of law.
And how does the rule of law affect businesses? How does it help businesses? What are the benefits of having the rule of law upheld for the business community? That's the community that we serve here at the San Diego Business Journal.
Oh, absolutely. I think that it behooves businesses to support the rule of law. It sets up, just like the person crossing the street with an expectation of safety, it sets up businesses in terms of their expectations of their responsibilities, their obligations, and what obligations are owed to them. And without the rule of law, a business might have compliance regulations applied to businesses differently for no apparent reason. Then what do we have? We have businesses that don't know how to expect to operate. We have businesses that take advantage of the system and operate under standards as opposed to standards that are supposed to be enforced on the law. Putting it into context, let's say in my area of practice, we are a regulating agency and we regulate specifically hazardous waste facilities. They have an expectation of standards and regulations and processes that they can follow so that they're able to operate. Now, if we as an agency only enforced here and there, or enforce this rule that way for that facility and another rule a different way for another facility, how would we encourage? That would be discouraging to businesses. How would businesses be encouraged or find the benefit of operating in California if we're not applying the rule equally across the board?
Yeah, so I think that there's maybe a perception that the rule of law is somehow favored politically. Is that true? What is the rule of law as far as its perception politically?
Oh, sure. The perception that I understand to be out there, and it's something we've considered at the County Bar Association in making our own public statement about the rule of law. We were very concerned about making sure that our members know that our take on the rule of law is nonpartisan. It's not a political issue. The rule of law is important no matter what party line or lines that you're lay across. And it's also a timeless idea. It didn't just occur as an issue this year or last year. It's been a concept for how our society governs itself since it was established. And same as the creation of the STCBA, at the time the STCBA was established, the concept and the purpose of the Bar Association was to support professional excellence and the respect for law. So it's a timeless concept, and it's also about the rule of law and laws applying to people and businesses no matter where they are on the political spectrum.
Oh, thank you. And because the rule of law allows for, a lofty ideal, let's say, how does that translate for like lawyers and as far as like their feeling of civic duty, this idea of giving back or serving a purpose? Is that something that you see among the law community because of this ideal that everyone's held to? How does that translate into the way lawyers interact with San Diego and other communities?
Absolutely. The legal community in San Diego, I could be biased, but I would say they're second to none in terms of generosity and contributing to our community. And it comes down to the rule of law. It comes down to a lawyer's and attorney's purpose in upholding the respect for the rule of law, the equal protection of the law for everybody. And I see it a lot in volunteerism from my own work in the pro bono field. I've worked in foster child programs. I've worked in environmental programs. I've worked in bankruptcy legal clinics. And what's behind all of that work, a common string, is that these volunteers are helping individuals who would not otherwise be able to navigate the law by themselves. And in other words, they don't have equal footing. And so the purpose behind a lot of volunteerism is allowing that access to justice to happen, is even allowing a person to make it through a process, to understand a process, so that the rule of law can be applied to them equally. Because without the guidance of a lawyer in many of these cases and many of these areas of work, individuals simply wouldn't be able to navigate it in a way that would advance their rights in the best way possible.
In addition to civic duty and volunteerism, there's also maybe a guiding light principle that attracts people to the profession. Do you see that in the law students that are coming up and people who want to pass the bar exam and become attorneys these days?
I see it in most attorneys and I see it in most law students. For most attorneys, there's something that motivated them to go to law school that was beyond, I want to be a lawyer and make a lot of money. Most lawyers went to law school to serve a purpose, and usually the purpose has to do with helping people. And law students I see also going through law school are interested in public service. And even if they're not interested in public service, they're interested in becoming excellent practitioners. And I see the mentorship and mentee relationships that happen between lawyers and law students, and that same common goal of wanting to have the highest caliber of legal skills so they can advocate. A first-year lawyer and a 10th-year lawyer or 20-year lawyer can both all advocate for their clients with the highest skill level possible so that they all have equal access to the law.
And then, was there any topic that you wanted to discuss? What's coming up at the San Diego County Bar Association?
The next large event coming up for the San Diego County Bar Association is in July, and it's the Summer Social. It's put on by our New Lawyers Division in partnership with our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Division. It's one of our largest attended events.
Awesome. And people can get more information about events and other details at the San Diego County Bar Association at sdcba.org, correct?
That's correct.
Awesome. Well, stay tuned for more info on an exciting collaboration between the San Diego Business Journal and SDCBA this October as we are working together on the journal's Leaders of Influence in Law honoree event on October 21st. just before the County Bar's Business of Law Summit, which will be held October 23rd. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
This has been a podcast from the San Diego Business Journal, the community of business. Keep watch on the journal's website, sdbj.com, for this and other podcasts, past and future. Copyright San Diego Business Journal, all rights reserved.